Hey folks, guess what? It's already time to apply for elk in Wyoming for 2022. I can't believe that. It's crazy. Where'd the time go? You know the drill if you've watched these before. Every year we do all the western states that we think have value for you as a non-resident. We walk through the overviews of everything, kind of deadlines and the important stuff you don't want to miss, kind of the basics of how the system works. But if you want more, go out to Go Hunt. That's who helps make these videos possible. Go sign up for the Insider at Go Hunt. Use promo code Randy and they'll give you $50 of gear in their gift shop. And you're going to have all this information at a whole lot more detail. A lot more. Strategy articles, draw odds, research, all kinds of stuff. If there's a better value out there for elk, it's Wyoming, Arizona, Wyoming, Arizona. I don't know. Depends on what you like to hunt in terms of rifle or archery or muzzleloader. Arizona has a bigger variety of seasons by weapon type. Wyoming is pretty straightforward in their seasons and their dates. It's just a great value. I don't know how I'll say it. It is. Apply in Wyoming. The reason I find so much value there is they do a great job of managing between opportunity and quality. They have super high success rates compared to their surrounding states. And a lot of that is how they manage their season structures, how much accessible land exists, and a couple programs Wyoming has called the Hunter Management Area and the Walk-In Hunting Areas that put an emphasis on getting you access to otherwise inaccessible lands. You put all that together, and Wyoming's a great value. Some of you are interested in cow elk hunting. So I'm not going to get into all that here. I have my Wyoming regulations pulled up. Same deadline, same everything, but I'm looking at what cow elk, $303 for a cow elk tag in Wyoming. That's pretty cheap. I got friends who go there and do it every year, and they have a ton of fun. They know they're going to draw just about every year, and they come home with meat for the freezer. So let's not forget about the deadline. If you miss the deadline, you're out of luck. But January 31st, 2022, midnight, Mountain Time, that's your deadline. So now you're thinking, all right, Randy, you got me convinced that, all right, if Wyoming is that good a value, if Newberg says he would never miss Wyoming, maybe I'll think about it. So let's talk about what it's going to cost you. Wyoming, you're going to have to front all of the costs. I mean, every dollar of it. And there's some of it that's non-refundable, and there's some of it that is refundable. The non-refundable part is your $15 application fee per species. Plus, once you add up the whole bundle in your cart, they apply a 2.5% transaction fee. So there's probably going to be, depending on if you apply in the more expensive special draw or the less expensive regular draw, that's still going to be another 20 to 25 bucks. So you're going to have to front all of that. They only do it online. They only take credit cards, so be prepared. Most of us are going to be looking at a type 1 or a type 2 tag. Those are the rifle tags that are usually the ones, well, they'll allow you to harvest a bull. And then there are some type 9 tags that are archery only. One of the unique things about Wyoming is any unit that doesn't have a type 9 tag in it, you can usually go archery hunting on your type 1 or type 2 tags. That'll be September 1st through the 30th. And if you don't fill that tag, you can come back in the rifle season of usually October or November. But if you do that, you got to make sure you get the stamp. There's a little bit more complication to going archery hunting there. But you think about how much opportunity that represents. If you're one of those folks who are like, hey, I'll hunt archery, and if I don't draw, I'll come back with a rifle. That's just really, really good in how Wyoming does that. So we're looking at what type of tags, type 1, type 2, possibly type 9. And then you're going to see that as non-residents, we get to apply for just about every unit out there. And then there's one great big category called Gen, Gen. It's the general tag. And it's a whole series of units that the Wyoming residents get to buy as an over-the-counter tag. That's why it's called general. The way it breaks out, Wyoming statute says they have to issue non-residents 7,250 non-resident elk tags every year. Well, people are saying, how much of that is then general and how much of that are limited entry tags? Well, they kind of back into what the general number of tags is, or the number of general tags is. They take all the limited entry tags, and we as non-residents get 16% of those tags. Not 10% like a lot of the surrounding states, but 16%. Let's say that 16% of all the limited entry tags came to 2,250 tags. Well, you subtract the 2,250 limited entry tags from the 7,250 non-resident total. That means there's going to be 5,000 general tags. So no matter what, they have to get us to the 7,250 total tags. It's just how many of those are going to be limited entry and how many are going to be general tags. And then we got these fee structures. And this is where it gets a little bit dicey. You're going to have to make a decision on this. You have the option as an adult to apply for the regular price tag, which is $707, or apply for the special tag, which is $1,283. Now, if you draw either the regular tag or the special tag, it's the same tag. It's just Wyoming came up with this concocted idea that I think is stupid, that if you're willing to pay a lot more, what's that, $576 more? You're going to get better draw odds. Why should we have better draw odds based on how much you can afford to pay? But that's an editorial comment for a whole nother video. And then they have a special price for youth. Now, if youth decide they want to apply in the regular draw, it's only $290. But if a youth says, I want to jump up into the special draw, well, you're going to pay the same as the adults in the special draw, $1,283. So that's kind of the basics of how they arrive at what number of tags we as non-residents get, how much money you have to put up front, stuff like that. I hate point systems, okay? I'm just going to say that. I hate these elaborate schemes they come up with. It's driven by a couple things. Create more hurdles so fewer people will apply, or generate a lot of money. Well, just charge us more then. Get rid of these stupid point schemes. That's why I like Idaho and New Mexico. They don't have a point scheme. But Wyoming does. So Wyoming has what's called they call it a preference point system. I call it a modified preference point system. And here's why. When I say modified preference point system, that means 75% of the tags, whether it's in the special pool or the regular pool, go to the highest point holders, i.e. a preference point system. You at the highest point, you get the tag. The other 25% goes in a random draw, and I'll walk through how that works. But before I do it, we got to get into this split between the regular draw and the special draw. Like I said, same tag, whether you draw in the regular pool or special pool, it's just supposedly better draw odds, but not always. Check it out before you go blow all that extra money. So here's the allocation. Let's say there's 100 tags. That means 40 of them go over here to the regular draw, or the special draw. The other 60%, or 60 tags, go over here to the regular draw. Then we split it 75 to the preference point and 25 to the random draw. Now here's how you end up in the random draw. Everybody goes into the actual preference point draw no matter what. It's not like you're opting in it or out of it. You go in there and they say, oh, Randy Newberg, you don't have enough points to draw in the preference point draw. By default, I then get thrown over into the random draw. So the good news is, when there's 25% of the tags going into a random draw, both in the special pool and the regular pool, there's always a chance. That's what I'm saying. So in Wyoming, we've had a ton of applicants over here just buying a point. So they don't even show up in the draw results from the prior year. So they buy points, they buy points, they buy points. And they're accumulating points, they're accumulating points. And now they're thinking, you know what? I'm getting older. I'm finally at the point level where I think I could draw one of these mid-range hunts. Or maybe they've seen some of the bills that have been introduced over the last few years in Wyoming that would bring our limited entry percentage from 16% down to 10%. And they're like, man, I better burn my points now. So you're seeing people who we had no idea how many of them there were, at what point level they were at. Whew, they jump in this year. And a unit that last year took 5 points, this year takes 7. A unit that last year took 11 points, this year takes 12 or 13. And it just is how it is. So in that preference point side, you're seeing these jumps. And it's probably going to continue like that for the foreseeable future until we can plow through all these really high point holders that have just been over there buying points forever. So I know there's nothing I can do about it. So I try to plan for it or set my expectations based on that. In one of my other videos earlier this season, I talked about short-term, mid-term, and long-term. And I did it by state. I did it for elk, I did it for mule deer, and I did it for antelope. And a lot of people will say, hey, I'm either down to 0 points or I'm new to the Wyoming game. Is there anything in this short-term category, which for me, I say is with 0 to 4 years, is there an option for me? And the cow elk, for sure, that's an option. You're going to probably go 3 out of 4 years, maybe 4 out of 4 years. But you do have the general tag in Wyoming that's certainly within your range. So there are short-term options available. Now, mid-term and long-term, Wyoming gives you lots of options for both of those also. If you want to go back, watch that other video. A lot of people will say, I'd love to go, but is there really enough public land? Yes, lots of public land in Wyoming. I think Wyoming is right around 60% public land. And by that I mean BLM, Forest Service, state trust land. Now, the first thing someone's going to say is, yeah, but us non-residents, we can't hunt the wilderness, the designated wilderness areas of Wyoming. You're right, we can't. But they're pretty generous to us in terms of total tags, percentage of tags, so I don't get too worked up about that. And they have these 2 really great programs that I think other states should look at. The way Wyoming does their hunter management area and their walk-in hunting areas are excellent. They go and focus on big game hunting access. And they have all of these places that are isolated that you can't get to. They give a lot of credit towards those ranchers that will get you to more public land that otherwise is inaccessible. So finding a place to hunt in Wyoming isn't going to be your problem. Some of you will ask, can I just buy a point? And if you were in the Wyoming system about 4 or 5 years ago, you bought your point at the time of your application. You don't do that anymore. They reopen the system and you got to go back in as a separate transaction to buy your preference point starting July 1st, and I believe it runs until the end of October. So don't forget to do that. If you don't draw this year, I have it on my calendar, July 1st of every year, like poof, buy Wyoming points, buy Wyoming points. I don't want to forget. Some of you often ask us, hey, if I draw and I can't go, can I return my tag in whatever state? In Wyoming, you can return a tag, but you're not going to get any points restored. And you can surrender your license to the Department of Wyoming Game and Fish, and it'll be reissued to a disabled vet or a person who uses a wheelchair. Wyoming, is it worth it? Yeah. I know all you people who've been in the Wyoming system for a long time are like, Newberg, shut up, man. Well, guess what? Wyoming got discovered a long time ago. And there's a reason why. that have a great product for the traveling non-resident hunter, especially the non-resident hunter who is interested in elk. So remember the deadline, January 31st, midnight, Mountain Time. Good luck, and if you want more details of all this, go out to our friends at gohunt.com and sign up for the Insider, and it'll go into way more than what I've touched on here. And when you do, use promo code Randy and they'll give you $50 of credit in their gear shop. Good luck.